Hi, I'm Maggie Linton. Welcome to Business Essentials, a video guide for new, small, and minority and disadvantaged businesses in Montgomery County, Maryland. This short video is intended to give you a brief overview of important issues when starting or growing a business. It's not intended to be a comprehensive guide, but information designed to point you in the right direction. As most successful entrepreneurs will tell you, there is no one simple formula for success. But researchers and social scientists who have studied these successful businesses will tell you that there are some critical strategies that, if implemented early, will help develop pathways that lead to success. To discuss some of these critical strategies is Marjorie Nemes, the co-founder and managing partner of ArcStratta, a minority, woman-owned company that provides services to strengthen social and community development interventions. Marjorie has more than 20 years of community and economic development experience, including consulting, research, and nonprofit management in the social and economic sectors. She was previously the interim CEO of a regional minority-focused community development financial institution that carried out equitable economic development and wealth-building programming. She is no stranger to helping small, minority, and women-owned businesses create their own strategies for success. Welcome, Marjorie, to Business Essentials.
Thank you for having me.
I tell you, it is a pleasure to meet you, but let's begin with what you're good at, talking about networking and how people can use it as a pathway to success.
Absolutely. I think when you start a business, you have to understand that you're integrating yourself into a system that already exists. And a big part of that is relationship building and networking and making sure that you're establishing as many relationships and connections as possible, any way possible, whether it's formally through cohorts that you join to help build your leadership or a particular capacity as a small business owner, volunteering, or simply just looking for any opportunity you can to connect with anyone. And so social media, I think, has been a game changer in that respect, I would say, for our generation.
You know, especially for your generation, but I can remember in the old days, many of us used our connections from college. Right. And those kinds of things still work. Right. in a major way for helping people get started. They're looking for mentors, aren't they?
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, I would say, I think people will often think that, or maybe lend too much to online and social media networking. Obviously, the most powerful thing is to meet people in person. And your supporters are folks, when you begin as a business owner, or folks that you've known all of your student career, your professional career. These are folks that you're building and bringing along with you along the way, sharing your story with them as you grow, and keeping it in mind that maybe someday you want to be a business owner. And so, yeah, absolutely, I think the in-person connections are probably the most valuable, but it doesn't mean that every so often you may meet someone on social media, which may help you in a really interesting way. Right?
You know, I hear a lot more now also about kind of business meet and greets, like through the Chamber of Commerce or something along those lines. How good are those connections now?
From what I've noticed from my previous work, there have been a lot more investments in chambers of commerce. From my understanding, they're a great way to meet others, especially if you're looking for partners, for folks to partner with on work. I think folks often focus on getting work in the door, getting contracts in the door, but it's just as important to find people to partner with to execute on contracts and to deliver whatever product or services you're offering. So I think they're important in any of those settings to find folks who may partner with you, work for you, and eventually maybe evolve into a supporter.
Well, you brought up one of the topics we were going to talk about, so let's talk about it now. Partnering. Mm-hmm. Finding the right partner and how important that is to success.
Absolutely. So when you start a business, I think you have to develop an understanding for the amount of energy that it's going to take to get the entity off the ground. And is this something you can do by yourself? And if not, if it's too much, which often it is, you want to think about who in your sphere who you've known could serve as a partner. And you want to look at folks who complement who you are, and so they have skills that you do not have that are needed in business. And so it's an interesting process. If you're fortunate enough, you've known this person for some time, maybe you've had it in the back of your mind that, you know, one day I'm going to start a business and I want to do it with them. But you definitely want to consider starting a business with someone else. It takes a lot of energy. So if you can find someone to partner with, one or two other folks, I would recommend it, and that's what some of the research has bore out, right? It takes a lot of energy, so it's not something you really want to do on your own. But.
It takes a lot of energy, but like you said, you don't necessarily want to go with someone who's been a really close friend and may not be in the same lane as you. Is that what you're basically saying?
It depends. I think you have to have similar work habits. I think that you have to be really honest with yourself about what your strengths are and what your weaknesses are, and have a really open relationship. It's like I was told going into entrepreneurship that you're marrying your partner, right? So I was told, whoever you choose, you're marrying them, right? Think of it as a marriage. And so you're trying to develop the healthiest relationship possible with this individual or other individuals. And so you really just have to be honest about your strengths and weaknesses and what theirs are and what you're bringing to the table. And have open communication at all times, because the entity evolves and what it's going to require evolves. So you have to always have on the table what you are and are not willing to give, right? So.
And in the forming of that partnership, how important is it to sit down and talk right from the very beginning? Here's what we want this year, next year, 5 years from now.